Hello, thanks for watching this episode of Lessons on Galatians. In this segment, we're going to focus on two people groups that play a huge role in the letter. Even if you already know the basics about Jews and Gentiles, this video might still be worth a minute of your time to appreciate the significance of what Paul is writing about. The Jew-Gentile dichotomy was a Jewish way of looking at the world. Jews were descendants of Abraham through his son Isaac, and then everyone else in the world was a Gentile. From the time of Abraham, about 2000 BC, till the time of Jesus, the Jewish people played a special role in God's plan of salvation. After the exodus from slavery in Egypt, God set the Israelites apart as his chosen people. At Mount Sinai, he gave them a special set of laws that distinguished them as his people. These laws governed their civic life, their religious festivals and rituals, their diet, almost every aspect of their day-to-day. This law from Mount Sinai, also referred to as a covenant, was key to their identity as God's people. Now, this covenant included the circumcision of every Jewish male. In fact, another way that Israelites would speak of Jews and Gentiles was as the circumcised and the uncircumcised. Before Jesus came, a Gentile could become part of the Jewish community by subjecting themselves to the Mount Sinai covenant. And for males, this would require the act of circumcision. So to put it simplistically, in the Old Testament, a Gentile could join God's chosen people by becoming Jewish. After Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead, this setup changed dramatically. Now, instead of bringing Gentiles into the Jews, God would send Jews out to the Gentiles. Think about something Jesus said to his disciples after he rose from the dead. He said to them, "Now go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you." No longer would God's promise of forgiveness revolve around the Jewish people and the Mount Sinai covenant. Now it would revolve around the gospel of Jesus Christ, who was the fulfillment of that covenant. Now try to imagine yourself as a Jew at the dawning of this new era when the distinction between Jew and Gentile, circumcised and uncircumcised, no longer made a practical difference. This was a huge change to reckon with, and it was one of the first big issues that the New Testament church would have to work through. The question in Galatia was whether Gentiles, or anyone for that matter, had to subject themselves to the Mount Sinai covenant in order to become right with God. To give you an idea of the prevalence of this theme in the letter, I've highlighted words referring to Jews in red and Gentiles in blue. I've also added words referring to circumcision and uncircumcision in green. Might be worth 10 minutes of your time to read through the letter sometime today with Jews and Gentiles in mind. Thanks for watching. See you next time.